What's the difference between making money and building wealth?
Well, some people who have made millions and millions of dollars died with nothing in their name, died being broke and lived broke. Building wealth is really a matter of time and freedom. And what I mean by that is I can make $1 million a year and be broke, which a lot of people actually are. We're out here not far from Beverly Hills, and a lot of people are making a lot of money but are broke. And I see this all the time because I work in this financial education space where I have met countless doctors, because I talk about this a lot, people who are making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year that have no savings, no investments, and no idea where to start. Because when you start to make more money, you first think, if I had an additional $100,000 a year, oh my God, I could do so many things. Because we think in terms of spending. If I had $10,000 a month, what would I do? Well, I would first go to Cancun. I'd buy myself a nicer car. I'd go on a nicer, whatever. And that's how we consume. That's how we think. We're conditioned to think that way. That America is a consumer nation. We are the largest consumers of things in the world. I like to say that Americans make $1 to spend $2. Traditional Indian mindset people make $1 to spend 20 cents.
Right.
Because they're conditioned to save. Not saying either one of these is right. They're both wrong. But when most people are conditioned to consume and spend, you make more and you spend more. And you might think, well, how can you spend $1 million a year? It's very easy. It is very easy to spend $1 million a year. You start buying some nice homes. You start going on some expensive vacations. You start buying some expensive clothes. And there goes your $1 million a year.
Gone.
And that's what happens to a lot of people. So when we talk about the difference between building wealth and making a lot of money, you got to take the money that you earn and not spend it. And you got to put this to work. And so let me break this down this way. Becoming wealthy comes down to 5 steps. And I've talked about it in many different forms, but I'm going to break it down into the simplest root thing you have to understand. Number 1 is you got to earn money. And if people say, how do I earn money? It doesn't matter. It could be a side hustle. It could be a business. It could be a job. You could have some money coming in. Once you make some money, number 2 is you don't spend all of your money. And that means when you make $1,000, you don't spend all $1,000. How much do you spend? Let's not worry about the nitty gritty yet. Just don't spend all of your money.
Well, most people make $1,000 and they spend $1,500.
Yeah.
They use their credit card to spend more than what they have because they think, well, I'll be able to pay this off next month because I have another $1,000 coming in.
Exactly.
And then they get into more and more debt because they're over-consuming.
You'll never build wealth. You'll never get rich. You'll never have any freedom. And so you can't spend all of your money. Which is why number 3 is you take the money you don't spend and you go out and you buy an investment. We'll call it the middleman. And you'll see why I call it the middleman. Is you want to take this money you don't spend and you want to essentially throw it into this thing on the side that will hopefully make you some more money in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 4, when your investment makes money, take the money that your investments make and dump it back into your investments. And then number 5 is work to make more money. And the reason why you're working to make more money is so you can have more investments. Now, let me explain why this is so difficult, because it makes sense in theory, right? You're never going to become wealthy if every time you make $1, you give it to somebody else. If you want to become wealthy, you have to keep more money for yourself. The way that our economic system works is the more money you spend, the richer somebody else gets. It's, hate it or love it, that's the reality. When you go to Chipotle and you buy that extra guac, Chipotle is making more money. When you go to Amazon and you spend more money, Amazon's making money. Now, this can make some people extremely wealthy, but it also keeps the majority of people broke financially. And so this is where, if you want to make yourself rich, you got to stop making everybody else rich right now. You got to first make yourself rich. And that means stop giving other people your money. And there are so many extremes to how you can do this, right? I mean, you could go to that one extreme where I am not going to spend anything. I'm going to live in a shoebox and I'm going to eat nothing but rice and beans. And I'm going to stack all my money. Fine. Other people will find a more balanced approach. And you got to find what's right for you.
Yeah. I'll spend a certain amount on the things I like, but I'm not going to overspend. Or I like it where you just say, I'm going to reinvest a certain amount of my money every single month of the money that's coming in, whether it's a paycheck or your business. I'm going to take that money. This much is going every month into my investments, whatever that might be. And then if I want to spend the rest on a vacation or, extra guacamole or whatever it is, cool, enjoy your life as well.
Right.
Like, you don't have to live the most frugal life as well. You don't have to be so extreme. But I think first take your money to invest.
Yeah.
Then spend on some activities and events and go to concerts. Cool. I get it.
And you got to find your balance. For me, I was on an extreme. When I first learned about this, I went extreme because when I was making money first, I was running an event planning company. I didn't know anything about money. I took my money and I bought nice watches and I dumped it back into my car. I mean, that's what I thought was normal. But as you start to learn, you realize, or if you start to become more financially educated, you realize that doesn't do anything for your wealth, right? There's no wealth built into tricking out your car. There's no wealth built into just spending money on nice things. It looks nice and it's nice. If you want to have it, it's fine, but that's not going to make you wealthy. And you got to decide what's more important to you. So then I completely tipped the scale and I started not spending any money. So I'd have more money to invest. For me, it started off in real estate. And now it's this slow process. The reason why it's so difficult is because if you make $10,000, it's a lot of money to put aside, right? I work to make 10 grand, but you can't show off a $10,000 stock market portfolio the way you can a $10,000 watch or a $10,000 vacation. Because I can take those things and I can put it on my Instagram, I can put it on my Facebook, I can put it on TikTok, and I can show these things off, and they get a lot of likes and they get a lot of oohs and ahs. But my stock market portfolio just sits there. Slowly, it'll start to generate a little bit of income. And I think understanding you're going to make a lot of money in your lifetime. I don't care how much money you're making. If you make 50 grand a year, in the next 10 years, you're going to make $500,000. In the next 2 decades, you're going to make $1 million.
Wow.
Assuming you never get another raise. Which means you're going to make millions of dollars over the course of your career, and most people will have nothing to show for it. And when I say most people, I don't say this generally. I mean, statistically, most people will have nothing to show for it. Which means now, as you go through life earning this money, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it to look rich, or are you doing it to actually build wealth? And you got to decide that for you, right? I can't come here and tell you, oh, it's important for you to build wealth, and then you listen to me. You got to decide that for yourself because you want to take better care of yourself, your wife, your husband, and your kids, and your parents, and you want to have a better future than today. And that's what investing is really for.